And here is table 2, the evaluation of test manuals. And here we have the sample. Determine if your client can be compared to the population. And my answer here is yes. This client can be compared within group, stuttering problems and age, 52 years old. Information needed on sample population characteristics. The age 52 years, geographic region Sweden. And the reservation here is that this whole test has not undergone normative testing within a population of Swedish adults. We have to rely on normative data from British adults. But it's Europe and it should correspond quite well, I presume. And socio-economic status from Great Britain is not indicated in the manual. The normalcy, including those excluded, is not indicated, referring to procedure. Those adults who wanted to participate in the project developing these tests were included. And now to the social linguistic grouping. A sample of 44 clients from England and Erie volunteered. 32 participants completed all 3 rating sheets in the required time scale on a long time basis during therapy. No control group of adults without stutter was participating within the development of WASSP. There are neither reports of social linguistic backgrounds nor gender distribution within the population of participants with stutter. And the sample size adequate for each age group. Here it is, a sample of 32 adults who stutter recruited from self-help groups throughout England and Erie. No reports of distribution within age span. And now to the item analysis. Do the test items measure the relevant aspects of communication at an appropriate level in order to answer clinical questions? And my answer is partly yes. And information needed on details of to select items and control levels of difficulty during test construction. And the answer is reliability item analysis, and that is the appropriateness of each item within each subscale as a measure of that construct is tested. In order to assess the internal consistency of each subscale, correlations were calculated between scores on each subscale and total subscale scores. 0.65 was judged to be the minimal level of agreement that would be acceptable. In order to check that each item in each subscales was a reasonable measure of the subscale, inter-item correlations were calculated to indicate the degree of association between scores on each item and total subscale scores at each time of testing. The results. All items in a subscale correlate higher than 0.65 with a range from 0.67 to 0.95, demonstrating all subscales as internally consistent. The Cronbach's alpha coefficients were above 0.78 to 0.90, demonstrating very high levels of internal reliability on all subscales. Now to the measures of central tendency. Does the scoring system allow interpretation across a range of expected individual differences? And my answer is no calculations are done for statistical analysis performed for measures of central tendency. And now to the information needed on variability of test scores, average score, mean, estimates of variance, the standard deviations, confidence intervals, etc. should be available for each subgroup. And here, what I found here, there are no reports of mean, standard deviations, confidence intervals, etc. And now to the validity. Does the test measure what you need to measure? And my answer is no, I'm not sure of that. And now to the information needed on concurrent validity, the relationship between test results and results on a criterion measure should be given. And here I found here that no reports on measurement of concurrent validity are done, only informal references to people who stutter within discussion groups and reports from clinicians of their perception of change. And now, can the results be used in clinical decision making to predict future performance? And my answer is no, I'm not sure of that. And information is needed on predictive validity, the evidence that the test results can be used to predict future performance on a criterion measure. This as there are no reports of differences between people who stutter and controls, people who do not stutter. Also, I'm not sure because there are no measurements done between each step of the scale, and that is what level that of change that can be regarded as a significant change and not as accidental or random. For example, between 5 and 4 or 5 to 3. The only references that are given are clinicians and experts' thoughts. Accordingly to Dahlgren in 2004, the personal opinions from experts have a low level of evidence. And now to the reliability test, retest reliability. Question: is a test reliable over time? My answer is probably yes, but if reliable over time, same tendency of scoring, does WASSP really measure change over time? Or is this consistency demonstrating little or no changes pre-post therapy, little or no therapy results? For test-retest reliability, a control group of people who do not stutter or people who stutter at a waiting list should have been appropriate. And if your choice would have been the people who do not stutter, some of the items have been transferred to not to use stutter or to use some other expressions. That can be done, but also waiting list is more easygoing, I think. And now to the information needed on empirical evidence of test, the retest reliability. Retest reliability of each subscale test is tested with Pearson's product moment correlations. This was done due to determine the relationship between participant scores taken at each time. All correlations between time 1, 2 and 3 were above 0.8, and the correlation between stuttering behavior scores were 0.95 on both occasions. And now from the manual. These results demonstrate extremely good reliability of scoring. Participants scoring high or low at one time are also likely to score high or low at the other 2 times, demonstrating that each subscale produces consistent results. And here is the confusion, because if you think about the different times here, if you're working as a clinician, you would like to see differences or a change, not the same scores, as an evaluation instrument. The inter-tested reliability. Are the test scores replicable by others? No, not indicated in the manual or reference list, but not checked within the database recently, because this is not a part of this task. And now to the information needed on evidence of inter-tested reliability, RPR 0.90. There are no reports in the manual, no RPR scores are indicated. And now to the administration and scoring procedures and the user qualifications. Can you be confident that you can administer, record, score and evaluate the test in an appropriate manner? And my answer is yes. Detailed administration and scoring procedures are required in order to ensure that administration and scoring are replicable. And here the information is that the manual includes specific instructions for the administration of WASSP. Moreover, case studies providing detailed examples of test procedure and scoring, so I found it quite easy to follow.